welcome you all for our quarterly meeting. And the meetings are the leaders of Tai Chi for Health Vision, which means the master trainers, senior trainers, and all the board members are invited. A- And of course, we're open to everyone, but and I understand it is difficult to have a perfect time for everybody. I know amateur, neuro, that at least two I know it's really difficult hours for you. Uh, but a special welcome for you to make the effort. And I will, I'm recording this. I think, yes, it's recording. I will send the recording to everybody. Give me a few days, a week or so to get organized, and I'll send you the record. And especially, I think this meeting is really important. Um, Let me also, before I start with my the thing I want to share with you, I just want to introduce a couple people, three people really. First, you all know Pat Lawson, who's the chair of the education committee in the board. So she'll be the person to take over if I have to sneak out for whatever reason. Um, Number two is Dino. You can see her, and some of you would have, yeah, you see
Hello,
Dino's
everyone.
waving. Some of you
Hello.
would have met him. He is
Hello.
amazing. I think he's a genius with IT thing. He really, really helped
T
us. Yeah, and I think
Too kind, too
some
kind.
of you
Thank
would
you.
have any problem. It's just so helpful. So thank you for being here because the new change have a lot to do with Dino's health. And so that's why he make a special appearance. If this is weekend, if he can't stay for long, then he will give you an answer for technical things that um, if you have those questions. And the third person I like to introduce is Evan. Evan, would you like to just,
Hi, everyone.
in case you haven't met him, Evan is my son-in-law. He comes from USA, and he's a professional musician, music teacher. He also is a certified instructor. He came to my workshop and he have a lot of passions for what we do. And of course, he does our program. And he's now working in the office and he will be, you'll probably get email from him and also with people who work with his guidance on I working on mostly the institute things. Um, as some of you will know, Richard Hazel's son used to do that work, and he's been with us for 8 years, and he's now found a new job, and so we have a really great approach by Evan. So you get to hear from him more. So okay, um, and if you any question, I'm going to ask Pat to monitor questions. If you have any questions, any things, go to the chat, and then Pat would introduce you when I finish my introduction. That's yeah. So I just thought that uh, you guys are so special and I was so excited and encouraged by the conference in Boston by Harvard University. The fact that I was invited to do present two topics, one with uh, Rayon Song, Professor Rayon Song, the other one by myself. And my topic was about our worldwide accreditation. There's no organization did what we did, and just the whole atmosphere, the extent of research on Tai Chi and Qigong, the commitment of government bodies, uh, it was just very mind blowing for me. And as you know, I do represent all of you, and at the conference, and Nina was in the conference. Um, just everywhere I turn, there's people come and say, "Hey, Dr. Lam, we love your program. Hey, Dr. Lam, my life been transformed," and so on. And instructors and or participants, I just felt there's so much overwhelming support. Every question, every comment is positive about what we did. So and so encouraged by what's happened in uh, conference organized by Harvard. Harvard is very academically orientated. For it to actually have a conference on the science of Tai Chi and Qigong itself is a monumental achievement. But having done that, and we have a really good place, we certainly enjoy recognition and respect. And that comes from the fact that they are you're the leaders, that we work together. And it's not easy to work with everybody, but obviously we try to um, do the Tai Chi thing, listen to the incoming force and work with each other and reach better harmony. And we set examples on how to do that. And of course, we have a good program. We have good people working on it. And you guys, the master trainers, senior trainers, did amazing job. And the board members have a great job. They do make decisions on what we do. So that is so important. Together, we are a really credible, responsible organization, or if I can say, vision. So I just thought that some of you might be relatively new, and since this is really significant, I just want to give you a bit of the beginning. Like we started accredited instructors 24 years ago when I started working with Arthritis Foundation. And then there were people who say to me, two persons in particular, especially our vice chair, Margaret Bray. And for those who haven't met Margaret, Margaret's an international lawyer who's the CEO of Age Concern, a semi-governmental charity organization in UK. And she has a history of working with organizations. And Margaret tell me, Paul, don't get upset, but if you drop that, she would hate to see this whole thing go away. And then that hits my mind. And she's certainly instrumental in setting up. It took us 3 years to set up the Constitution, and that was chaired by Peng Kersher. As you know, Peng is very familiar with charity, non-profit organization. Dr. Bob McBride did a lot of work on that. And then we started, the Institute was formed 2010. And its purpose, as you know, is to share, empower people with our program. And the right of control, the monitoring, the quality controls are by the hands of the Institute. And as you know, the Institute is represented by a group of people that's democratically elected. What's interesting is, we just have amazing people in our community, but I want to especially highlight one person called Jeff. Jeff Morris. He he's, he was an international business executive who has to retire and teach Tai Chi. He became a master trainer, and so he uses business acumen, and he did some research. He came to me and said, Paul, people wanted something else than the master trainer and instructor. People want something in between, like a senior trainer. And that is because of Jeff's work and research that we create the senior trainers. And and you can see how important you guys are. And in the board, the representation for senior trainer and master trainer are equal, both both, and in just about everything. We don't have a hierarchy system. or at least I believe we don't. Just that we're different jobs. And certainly in everything we can, we try to make the representation. There's 3 senior trainers, 3 master trainers, and so on. We just do different work, but there is no who's more important than others. So I think because of all our collective work, we've been recognized, and we certainly have many studies published. So I think that conference is like, for me, like a light of change around the world. And I'm just thinking the change that we make, the latest change, the creation of a preparation program is, I think it's one very important step towards that. As some of you know, that I have the stage 1, stage 2 program. And after a lot of thoughts and feedback from everybody, I re-edited, change everything so that it's now we don't have stage 1 or 2, as you would receive emails about the logistics and all that. But what it is a self-paced instructor preparation package. So I thought SIPP reminds me of drinking my tea, one little sip at a time. But and we make this, we cut down the price dramatically, and as you know, the logistics is that essentially the participants only pay $56. The master trainer can give a code for the participant to get a 30% discount. So that is a very, very reasonable cost for any preparation material, any other training. The whole idea was to fulfill our vision. Our vision is to empower people. And sorry, I'm not being distracted. I also just keep my eye on me, so make sure it's okay. So I after we have the stage 1 and 2, I have a lot of feedbacks, especially I think Jocelyn's one who uses so much that I get a lot of very helpful feedback from you and other people who have used it. And when I go through it again, then I realize this is like a structure. So once we have a structure that from the feedback of everybody from 24 years of experience in qualifying people, we know how much Tai Chi you need to know to be an effective instructor. We know you need to know how it works so that people would understand why they need to learn. We know that what you need to know to teach safely, not just for people with non-chronic conditions, also for people who have other conditions they don't know they have. So you need to know how to teach safely. We also know what you need to do to teach effectively using modern science and our experience. So to make a structure and a framework that is where we follow, this is what's involved. And we don't spend a lot of time talking about how wonderful you are. We spend the time talking about what you can do, what qualify you to help people. That people want to know. That kind of thing is all building to the preparation, the SIPP program. And that's a program that we can give it to organizations, governments. We can give it to any normal people. They can learn it and become a better instructor, whether they're certified by us or not. But if they're certified by us, there's a difference. We have interactive time to make sure they have the quality, they understand, they actually do what is necessary. And as I tell you from the science conference, we are respected, we are recognized. VA put us on the top of the preferred certified instructors. So I think the thing is, I used to worry about giving people too strict a structure, but this gives you a structure that you can actually modify, use your experience and work on it. But then we have a standard, a structure, a safety, quality that anybody can know. And I just think it makes our work as a master trainer, senior trainer, instructors, even participants, make it so much easier for them to see what we're about, what do we have to offer, and make our job easier, give us a very clear level of competency you need to achieve, and a standard structure so you can then use your experience to modify and improve it. So I think for me that's a huge move, and of course I cut the cost down dramatically, so to make it more accessible. And with the logistics, how do you get involved with that? Dino sent out a very, very detailed, very wonderful email, detailed that. If you haven't got it, well, just let us know. We send it to you. And of course, if you have any technical questions, by all means, Dino's still here. These are the main thing I want to share with you, and I think I'm open for questions. First of all, I want to ask if Nuala and Pat have any comments. Nuala, how are you doing? I can't hear you.
I'm doing okay. Yeah, difficult times, but doing all right. Yeah, I understand that I think this is a really great SIPPs. I think this should really be good for everybody and get everybody to the same status. And anyone who I've spoken to really thinks it's a good idea. So I think, yes, we're moving on. And I think this is a new sort of phase in making sure that our programs are safe and effective, and that everybody's on the same page. I think it's a really good. Yeah, thank you, Dino and Paul and Evan over down there.
Thanks, Nuala. And Pat, would you like to?
Sure. I've talked recently to people with NCOA and people with National Association of Chronic Disease Directors here in the States. Clearly, we are considered premier in their view of evidence-based programs, and to keep our spot, because the other people are developing their programs to be more like ours. So one, I want to thank everybody here, and most of all, Dr. Lam and Dino for your support in it, Evan, being able to turn on a dime and develop even better ways after these challenging COVID years. And two, I want to say that I think the SIPP program is not so different than our stage 1 and stage 2. It's not going to throw us all for a loop, but I think to the outsider, it presents a much more clear view of the foundation, what we're doing, how we prepare people. Then we have the live interactive training to really get into it, and that we do provide follow-up. And that's what's important to the people who have grant money and are running programs, and even to smaller groups and little residential facilities. They want to know that we're quality, that we can deliver, that we have results. So thank you all for being a part of that.
Thank you, Pat. That's really helpful. And I have more detailed talk with Pat that with the CDC's organized conference. That's amazing that we are so well, it's not amazing. We deserve it. We work together and we have lots of time and work put it together. But it's good to be recognized and be accepted. Thank you. So Pat, were there any questions that I should address?
No, Dino did put the link to the email into the chat box, so everyone should copy it and save it somewhere so that you have it. But no one has posted anything yet.
Well, yeah, feel free to say anything. This is a regular 3-monthly meeting, and it's not just about SIPP. I'm happy to talk about anything else that you want to share. Or even if you want to do some practice afterwards with time, we can do that. But I just feel that time has changed. Sorry, go. Yeah.
Jocelyn has her hand up.
I just wanted to
please.
say I'm real excited not getting those $80 deductions all the time off my bank account.
Yeah.
Well,
the participants are going to pay directly, and if you're working with agencies, there is a way that the agency can pay for their participants. Good. There's a question in chat wondering if there's a discount for STs to access the SIPP programs.
Good question. Now, in the past, I gave 70% discount for STs on $130. Since the price gone down to $80, we will still give 70% discount on $80. So that will come, whatever it come down to, 70% off. It's about $20 or something like that. Do you know, can we use the same? Oh, thank you. 24. That's a good figure. 24 forms. Do you know?
Yes. So we don't have that. Yeah, we can set that up. No problem.
Thank you. Thank you. So all you have to do as a STs is to email service at TCHI, and Evan or his people will give you that code to get 70% off for STs.
And Lorraine Novel is asking, just to clarify, TCA2 and TCE2 did not have a stage 1, so they are not having SIPP either. Is that the case?
That's right. Yeah, thanks for that question too. Same as all the two programs, TCE, TCA2, and SIPP TCA, all those programs don't have a SIPP because essentially all the information are covered with the original program anyway, and people don't get certified for TCE2 unless they done TCE first. So they already gone through that. So the certified process for TCE2, for example, would be exactly the same as before.
Thank you. And Brenda Hum is asking, how will updates work?
Good question. Yes. Updates, I would think you can do it the same way as before, or you can use SIPP. If they haven't used SIPP before, I personally would get people to do SIPP, and then after they done it, I will cut down my update time to half. So I still have the interactive session, but instead of a full day, I'll do half a day because they done SIPP already. They would already well prepare. So that's what I suggest. Again, it's pretty much as before. Yeah. Well, there's one question that hasn't been asked, and I'm going to anticipate there is such a question. That is, if you really, really don't want to go along with SIPP, or if really whatever you're organizing doesn't work, people don't have internet and so on, you can, as a master trainer, it's your discretion to run it the previous way, that is with the instructional DVD and the books. And you can do that. You don't need to ask for permission, but you need to register it with the institute, so the institute know you do something different. All you have to do is, again, email service, TCHI, and you will get a very simple form, which is just to fill in who you are, when is the workshop, and any reason, just a simple reason that why you're doing that, and then you can go ahead and do that, and you can also do a mixed one. We don't want to sort of change your life drastically, but I also want you to experience and see how much more accessible, more easy to maintain the standard, and more useful. And certainly, I think it is every MT's responsibility to go through SIPP. You don't have to use it, but you have to go through it before you run a workshop. Because, I have one MT who went to stage 1 and say, I didn't know about the study in North Carolina. Wow. Yeah. And that's amazing question. People come to me and say, oh, I didn't know what is the dosage. Those things, yeah, when it goes through SIPP, you would have really the structure of what's adding, so what is needed. And then, of course, you can individualize yourself, but it gives you an outline and some structure to follow on. And that gives us credibility, because we have a structure which came from studies, evidence, experience, and group wisdom. All the years of feedback of what we did, what was, it's sort of crystallized in the SIPP. And the good thing about SIPP is it's updatable anytime. Like, for example, diabetes. In the old days, we say bring some glucose tablet. That's no longer recommended by Diabetes Association. So that's a change. And that change has been updated with the SIPP. So life changes all the time. This allows us a system we can update and continue keep up with time.
Anastasia brought up a good point, is the pricing of $80 and then a discount code bringing it to 56, I think. Is that US dollars, and is that how it's presented in every country?
Yes, unfortunately, it's virtually impossible for us to have a different currency with a different website. That's just way beyond our resource. Only huge international corporation can do that. And so the only way, we have to accept one currency. And we decided for the institute, it's an Australian association, the institute's fees is Australian dollar. But for anything else with the program, we have to use US dollars. And we just cannot do it like two different currencies. However, I want to bring another point in case you didn't ask. I have offered scholarships for people you think who's worthwhile, either as a senior trainer or master trainer. If you feel that person needs or deserve a scholarship, either half or full, go through the master trainers running the workshop and send me an email, and I would almost always give you that discount. Give that person, not you, your participants. And so, in other words, you can have people pay half of the $56 or none if they needed it. But please just give me at least one simple reason to make me feel happier. I will give it to you anyway, but a reason would be nice.
I'm just gonna jump in because I'll be leaving in a minute or two. But first of all, thank you for having me. This is my first time in an MTSD meeting. Thank you for finally inviting me. So it's good to be here. So I just wanted to reiterate a few things that Dr. Paul and Pat had mentioned, which is at the end of the day, SIPP, it's just a repackaged form of stage 1, stage 2. We're just making it a lot more clear publicly. So this is the preparation part. It's an online preparation part. And after which, someone can attend a master trainer's instructor training program to become an instructor. So that's it. So we're just removing the terminology stage 1, stage 2. Of course, there's some changes in the videos, but at the heart of it, it's fundamentally the same program that you've experienced in the last 2 to 3 years. Dr. Paul's vision has always wanted, he's always trying to make this as accessible as possible, which is why the length of time has expanded from 6 months to 1 year, and we're really driving the cost down. So like he said, we're bringing it down to $56 through a master trainer. It is publicly available. You just need to go to onlinetaichiworkshops.com. It is publicly available to anyone, so anyone can see that its value is $80, which is also down from its original $130. The process has changed. We're giving you a lot more flexibility. You can have your participant pay for it themselves with a promo code that a master trainer can give to their participants, which also brings it down to $56. We know there are master trainers who prefer using the special links that we had with stage 1. So we're continuing with that as well, especially for institutional purchases. Makes life easier for certain processes. For some of you, we're going to keep that in place. So yeah, and also we have, from an online lessons point of view, these are the regular online lessons. We have started the process of changing the prices and bringing the prices down for that as well, so that for one program, the public price of one program for 1 year is $69, which means that through a master trainer, the price of SIPP going down to $56 is actually, with all the training, with all the instructor training, is even lower than of a year of the regular program of online lessons to the public. So so that's a really key point. Through for instructor training, they have access to something which is even lower than your regular online lessons, which just includes the program itself. So so yeah, so included in that email is just sort of, we want to be able to guide you. We want to be able to respond to your question and help you and support you in the best way we can. And that means that if you have any questions at all regarding the overall process of instructor training, membership, TCHI instructor questions, instructor training workshop questions, that by default should still go to service@tchi.org, which is the main TCHI so customer support for everyone. Evan is around. He's the one who is really interacting with master trainers, instructors. So he's part of that team at service@tchi.org. When it comes to the technical aspects of SIPP, promo codes, access, passwords, anything to do with online Tai Chi lessons, special links. So that's also very important. If you have requests for special links, please direct your inquiries to online lessons@taichiproduction.com. online lessons at taichiproductions.com. That's in the email as well. It just makes it sort of faster because it goes to the right team. And the same with stage one, if you are requesting an SIPP link for the very first time, it does take a little bit of time in the beginning to generate that first one for you, just because we have a few things to do on the back end to make sure that if you do use that link, things fall into place. You receive an email notifying you that someone has used your link. We're able to set all of the automations up properly. But once we do have that first request from you, and it does take a little bit of time, then it gets a little bit faster. So please do bear with us, especially now during a time when SIPP has launched and we're getting a more than usual number of requests and questions regarding SIPP. So yeah, so unless anyone else has a quick question, I'm gonna go. So it was good to see everyone.
Pat have a quick
before
question.
Yeah.
Yes.
Before you go, I just want to clarify what you just said about that link, because most of the time we won't be using links. Isn't that right? Most of the time
That's
we'll
right.
just give them the discount code, and
That's
the
right.
participant will go and go
Purchase
to
themselves.
purchase it off the online, off the store, off
Yes.
online.
TaiChiWorkshops.com. Yes.
Okay. All right. I just wanted to clarify that it should be the exception rather than the rule that we need the links, but some people work more with agencies and then you might be using the link. Okay.
That's right. So it's flexibility. So we want to give you for people who, they don't want to bother with a link. It's a longer process. You give TCHI your credit card. So we have your card on file. Someone uses your link. We charge your card on file. So it's a longer process. It's more, there's more admin involved. There's more setup involved. So not everyone likes that. But some people would still prefer that, and it makes it easier. They're able to bundle the price into their workshop cost. They're able to, it's easier to handle institutional purchases. So an institution wants to purchase 20, 30 of their participants for them, put it all in one invoice. Those types of scenarios, the links will work exactly the same way for stage one as SIPP. We'll take care of you. So we'll make sure that that's happening. We'll make sure that that works for you. But for those who are, they want to be a little bit more hands-off, less admin. All I want to do is I want to teach. I want to do in my workshop, have the participant individually purchase their own SIPP. Fine, no problem. Here are the links that you can purchase it from. Go to onlinetaichiworkshop.com or give them the direct link. Here's a special code that only master trainers can give to their participants. So that, again, that little bit of more connection between a master trainer and their participant. Here's your link, done. They purchase, and that's done. Now, there's a question regarding monitoring. At this stage, not yet, but email me regarding the monitoring part once we set up your SIPP access. It takes up a lot of resources for monitoring. So we're actually going into the opposite direction. Dr. Paul really wants to go to the opposite direction of a little bit more hands-off with participants. If you think about the days of when we had DVDs, we still have DVDs, but the process of the only choice was DVDs. A participant had their DVD. You as a master trainer, you don't really know how far along the DVD they've gone as well. So there really wasn't a lot of monitoring. Now we're giving you a little bit more. So it's very similar in the sense that here you go, here's your access to SIPP. I hope you're doing okay. We'll find out in the workshop. So a little less admin work. right now, a little more hands off. But yeah, so we'll definitely we'll talk. Send me an email, preferably to onlinelessons@taichiproductions.com. We'll set up your SIPP links. We'll see what we can do.
Okay. Before you go, Dino,
Yeah.
I do want to thank you for taking you away from your family, and it's so great for you to be here. We need to take a photo to remind us. If you, Evan, would you like to take
proof
photo for
that I'm
everybody?
here?
And Deborah put a wonderful thank you into the chat. That kind of expresses it for us all, to thank Dino, Dr. Lam, Evan for being so patient and listening so well to all of us.
Thank you.
Dr. Lam, I'm ready when you are. Whatever, we'll follow you, and
Can you
I'll take
tell
a
us
screenshot for our
1, 2,
photo.
3, and yeah.
Okay, all right, great. Excuse me. All right, ready, everyone? Smile, I guess. 1, 2, 3. Thank you.
Okay, I'm gonna head off. Thank you so much, guys.
Dino.
Thank you,
And
Dino.
just send us an email.
Thank
All right,
you.
bye.
Hi. Yes. It was really good to go through these things, and I guess the other part, apart from we collaborate, we work with each other, and we follow a common set of value. At the same time, we are open our mind to absorb new things and change with the time. Without the online lesson, that would not survive. So life changes, and while we have new technology to make our job easier, and whatever you have any questions, just if I can ask you to think of what's our purpose. We are here to empower people. That's why I think things should be really simple, and also empowering people is helping people to do things themselves. So really, preferably minimum monitoring. You know, we're not parents. We are actually just a friend who's giving a tool to people, and if they don't take it, there's nothing we can do. But we can make our tool very nice, very simple, very interesting to do, and capture them with this beauty of our Tai Chi, and that we can do, and that's what I hope we all be doing, and that is empowering, making it attractive. See, well, that's very good. Was there anyone like to, if you know, if okay, normally I would have practiced since we have time, but I won't do it this time.
Okay.
If yeah, as somebody you know, I do have personal challenges with my time, so I'm okay, but just looking after. So if you still have any more questions, do write to me or service. And if any doubt, just write to service, they'll forward to me. I often get questions about, you know, their names got missed out from the website and that kind of thing. I really don't know what to do with it. So that would delay your answer because I just forward to service, TCHI. And so, but I really love to hear from you. Anything that to do with your personal or the vision, the work as an MTST or board member, absolutely, I love to hear from you. Meanwhile, Pat, do you want to say anything before I go? Oh, hi, Ernie. Do you want to say anything before? Was
Hello,
Pat, Ernie? Yep.
Hello, everyone. We get requests from time to time through the USA service emails. Not so many about SIPP yet, but there will be, I'm sure. So this was wonderful information. I took lots and lots of notes because anticipate getting that. Same Pat and Evan, you're probably getting more requests. So thank you for that time.
Thank you, Ernie. Nuala, do you want to say anything before we go?
No, I think everything has been said by Dino. The only thing I would like to mention is, I think you mentioned something about other organizations are now, I wouldn't say copying us, but being a little bit, well, certainly here in the UK, being a little bit more like us, trying to be. And I think we have such a credible program and way of teaching. And we're just, you did say, you know, that we are just, people look up to you and to the programs and to the way we teach and to our instructors and RMTs and STs. And STs are most important. I've always said that. We teach as a team, and I think that's the way to go. And it makes when we teach and we have STs with, I mean, I always have as many as I can, as many as will come to a workshop. It definitely looks like a team, and people know that. And this all gets carried on. And there's certain organizations that are trying to be more safe or have a look as if, not look as if, but trying, instead of teaching Tai Chi, they're having more safe programs, not the same as ours, but looking to safety and having more, because safety was never discussed before by lots of people. It was just do the Tai Chi and that's it, just learn it. But the safety aspect and the way we teach and the stepwise progressive teaching method is looked up to, certainly here in the UK. I don't know about anywhere else, but the other organizations are trying to improve their way of teaching. And it's just like not copying us, but more or less. Yeah, I've noticed. I've attended all these things for years anyway, so I know exactly what they're doing and how they're progressing, and it's a good thing. But you know, you have set this right from the beginning, and now people are looking up to it and see that it is a credible program with safety in mind as top priority. That's all I've got to say now. Yeah.
Thank you, Nuala. That is so nice to hear. And yes,
Yeah.
that's what we want to do. We want to share what we know with the world. And it's really good that we set standards and we continue to improve our standards because we work together. So that's wonderful. Yeah. Jocelyn, do you want to say something before we go?
I'm just glad that this program has been created. It makes it so much easier to train, especially with people that are overseas that do not have master trainers near them. And the feedback that I get from people that have gone through the program, really, it's all been positive. They learn better, gives me an opportunity if people you know, don't understand certain things, to be able to, you know, say, just go back to that section and review that. So it's just very, very helpful.
Thank you, Jocelyn. Okay, Pat's going to have the last word unless you guys have anybody want to say anything, feel free.
I might just
Pat,
quickly say one quick thing. I just wanted to thank everyone, first of all, and just express that as part of that service at TCHI team, it's my goal really support you in any way I can, even ways that I'm not even thinking of yet. So I really appreciate the communication that some of us have had so far. And I really encourage you to reach out to that team so that we can learn a little bit more about what you need and support your work. I'm looking forward to that.
Thank you, Evan. And it's so good to have you in the team.
And I just want to say how proud I am to be a part of all of you, for all of us working together to make this happen. If you have any questions, something comes up, or things like wanting to be consistent with other people in your region, do drop a note, pick up the phone and call any of us, email us. And I have felt the collegiality and the working together and the mutual support so much. And I'm just so blessed to be a part of the movement, really, the movement and the Institute and everything that we're about. So thank you all.
Hey, Tracy, what's your cat's name?
Her name is Leslie Liu.
Wow. Well, before I go, I'd like you all to join me to send your positive energy to people who's recovering, like Betty, Jim, from operations, and other people who are recovering from their health challenges, and send them more Tai Chi energy. And meanwhile, that's our world, to go out there and empower people, bring more health and harmony to the world. So,
And please send our love to Hazel.
thank you. Thank you.